Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and that is the new 2024 Chevy Trax in the RS trim. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of this one, see if maybe you should buy this or that 2024 Chevy Trailblazer over there. Stay tuned. All right, Gearheads, I am at the 2023 North America International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan, where I've got both of Chevy's affordable crossovers in the lineup. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of both, see why you may want to pick the Trax over the Trailblazer, or maybe the Trailblazer over the Trax. Since I have the hood open on the Chevy Trax, there is one powertrain option in this, and don't be fooled by all the electronics in this one required to keep the power running during the course of the auto show. Most of that won't be under there, but this is Chevy's 1.2 liter 3-cylinder, and that is the same as the base engine over there in the Trailblazer, but supplies decent amounts of power, 137 horsepower in this updated 2024 Chevy Trax. So again, a very nice powertrain here underneath the hood, 162 pound-feet of torque, and really good fuel economy. But let's close the hood and see how these two vehicles compare when it comes to styling. Closing the hood of the 2024 Chevy Trax, especially right there next to the Trailblazer, you'd see a very strong family resemblance between the two. That's because at the Chicago Auto Show earlier this year, Chevy announced updates for the Trailblazer that gave it a more Trax-like front end. Keeping in line with the updates they gave to the Blazer proper, the Trailblazer gets a new front fascia, and it really mimics the front fascia here of this Trax. Both of these models are in the RS trim, so it really gives you an apples-to-apples comparison of what the two offer. Both have LED running lights separated from the headlights down below, and have that unique Chevy split grille with that dark chrome splitting between the two. Coming around to the front of the vehicle, the front wheels of this Chevy Trax are the only wheels that do any powering on this one. That is one way Chevy kept the cost low on this Chevy Trax. You can get one in the $22,000 to $27,000 price range. That is from base out the door, pricing right around $22,000 to fully loaded $27,000. That's because it is a front drive only vehicle. Here in the RS, we get these very unique looking 19-inch wheels wrapped in Continental rubber. A very nice look that does mimic the same wheels over here on the Trailblazer. Now, this Trailblazer, as we look at this one, is an all-wheel drive model. So that means not only do we say goodbye to the CVT, we get a 9-speed automatic, but we actually have power to all four wheels. So that is a very nice touch, and probably the biggest reason somebody would forego getting a Trax over the Trailblazer. So this also offers the larger 1.3 liter turbo 4-cylinder, which makes 155 horsepower. So a little bit bigger engine, a little bit more power, and can put power down to all four wheels. You can see as we come along the side to the back of this one, the distinction between the two is quite clear when you have them parked next to each other. I really appreciate the long, low, and wide design of the Trax over the kind of short, tall, and narrow Trailblazer. So this is the overall profile of the Trax. We'll come around here to the front as well. You can see it is just a longer, lower, and wider vehicle than this Trailblazer. The Trailblazer is a taller, narrower, and shorter in overall length. And we'll show you a little bit more of how that translates when we get to the inside. All right, moving to the inside of the Trax. So this is the RS version. It is one of two top trims in the Trax. It gets those 19-inch wheels I showed you earlier, but it gives up the active trim's power driver's seat. So you can see we have a manually moving, manually reclining, manual height adjustment driver's seat here on the Trax RS, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop in, get to my preferred driving position, and you can see we've got an 8-inch driver information system and an 11-inch head or infotainment system in here. Everything will feel very familiar when we move over to that Trailblazer because a lot of the same design and parts are used in that Trailblazer just over there. But very nice updated interior. Again, with the RS, you get all the red accents as opposed to the Trax active trim getting yellow accents. And you can also get blue accents on the LT trim levels, but that's just a little call out there. This being an RS model, we also get RS in the headrest and a lot of red accents on the perforated seats. Here we have heated front seats, but not cooled seats, and we have single zone automatic air conditioning. Moving to the back seat of the Trax, this is, again, one of the bigger selling points why you would want this over the Trailblazer. So I'm 5'10", I'm climbing in behind myself at 5'10", and you can see just plenty of space back behind myself in my preferred driving position. We also have USB-A and USB-C back here, but all around a very nice, comfortable back seat. And because this was designed to be front wheel drive only, there's no transmission tunnel. So you get a nice flat floor back here, and you could get 3 across rather nicely. You don't have to do that little song and dance with where do your feet go if you sit here in the middle. Coming around to me, even here in the middle, I've got enough headroom at 5'10" that I'm not hitting my head. So 3 people could ride very snugly shoulder to shoulder back here, but you could ride back here, no problem. Coming back to the cargo compartment, we open up the manually lifting rear cargo cover. So that is yet another distinction between Trailblazer and Trax. You still get a lot of room back here. Again, the Trax is a longer vehicle, so you get a lot of storage back here. You do have a false load floor that does hide the temporary spare. Not a lot of sound deadening down here, so I would imagine a little bit noisier on highway roads, things like that. But being able to get in and out of this manually operated rear hatch in what is a low vehicle is actually not that big of a pain. Not as big of a pain as something big like a Suburban would be. All right, so now we come up to the Trailblazer, and I've just got to pop in and show you what makes this different from that Trax. So both of these are RS trims, but this one does not give up power seats. So we've got a multi-position driver's seat here with 2-way lumbar. So that's very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and point this out, but we'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pop in and get behind the seat, make sure it is in my preferred driving position because I want to show you exactly what backseat space is like in this one as well. You get the same infotainment and driver information setup as we did in that Trax. Same steering wheel with that flat bottom look and perforation, red stitching. Very similar design theme in here, just more distinctive air vents, not those round air vents from the Trax, but very familiar all the way around. We do have a Qi wireless charger in this one. Same AC controls, same heated front seats, very familiar offerings for front seat passengers. All right, now's the moment of truth for the Chevy Trailblazer. The back seat, what is it like for backseat occupants? And well, it is a shorter vehicle nose to tail than the Trax. There is still plenty of room behind my preferred seating position at 5'10". You can see not touching the seat in front of me. Really nice, pretty comfortable here as well. Kind of an upright seating position as well. These seats are a little bit firmer, but they are not uncomfortable. We also get power back here with USB-A, USB-C, and a household style plug. So that is yet another way that the back seat kind of one-ups the offerings from the Trax. This, being an all-wheel drive model, needs to make room for a drive shaft to go to those rear wheels, so we do not get the flat floor of the Trax. So you can put your feet up here or do that thing where you kind of straddle that drive shaft tunnel. Otherwise, it's a fairly comfortable vehicle, but you can see my head is now hitting the roof because we do have a very large panoramic glass roof in this one, and the roof is much lower back here behind it because that is where that roller shade goes. So while the Trax gets a standard size sunroof, this one gets the larger panoramic roof, which really cuts into rear seat headspace. Coming back to the business end of the Trailblazer, remember that little dial I showed you on the door? Well, that is for the power programmable rear hatch. So power hatch on this one, and you can adjust how wide it opens so that if you are in a low clearance area, you're not hitting garage doors or ceilings up above you. You still get a fair amount of cargo space back here, and unique to the Trailblazer of these two, you have a multi-positional rear cargo floor, if I can get this in here one-handed. So you can raise it up to this height position right here. You get a flat transition in between the load floor and the back. And then when you fold the 60/40 seats down, you have a flat load floor there. You have your temporary spare here with some sound deadening material in here. So again, this being a little more expensive of a vehicle, you get a little more materials in the vehicle. You can pull that shade forward and drop it down, and you get a little additional cargo space back here in the back. So if you've got slightly taller items, you can see we gain a couple of inches here on overall cargo capacity. And then I'll go ahead and show you at 5'10", I have to squat to get underneath the lift gate back here, but it is power programmable. And you can just adjust just how high it opens. So again, if you're worried about clearance up above you, this power programmable hatch is a little bit better than the manual hatch in the Trax that just opens all the way. All right, gearheads, there you have it. A quick look at both the Trailblazer with its all-wheel drive and more powerful 1.3 three-cylinder engine with 9-speed auto, and the more affordable front drive only Chevy Trax. I prefer, me personally, the styling of the Trax better. I like how it's long, low, and wide, whereas the Trailblazer still looks a little cutesy for me. I do know it is a deal breaker for a lot that Trax only comes as front-wheel drive, whereas Trailblazer offers you more power and all-wheel drive. Which one is right for you is up to you. If you want to see more from us here at the Detroit North America International Auto Show, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video drops. Find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, at the Chevy booth looking at Trax and Trailblazer, until next time, gearheads, bye.